We've got something called a Le Mans unit, which is something I didn't know. I know it's a bit over the top, but
I love it. What is it?
I can show you. It literally,
Yeah, please. Let's have a
it
look.
pours out. I'm really underutilizing it because all I've got is a toasting, but it just pulls out like this and
Oh.
just is really useful rather than just shoving loads of things
And
in
is
there.
that for like a corner cupboard?
Exactly, yeah.
Welcome back to the Ideal Home Show YouTube channel. I'm Louise Gookey and I am joined once again by the wonderful Nick Morris, who is a DIY and home renovation expert. And for the last 2 years has been renovating his own home. So putting practicing what he preaches and turning a home into a modern, from 1955 into a modern family home. And they've added a bit of space as well, from 1,200 square feet to 3,000. So just over doubled the space, which is amazing. So Nick, thank you so much for joining us. So we're going to be looking at one of the rooms today. We're going to be looking at one of your favorite rooms, which is the kitchen. How are you?
Yes, I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. Absolute pleasure. So yes, this project then, my goodness, it wasn't a small project that you decided to take on. How's it all going?
It's good, thank you. We've finished sort of 95% of it. We've just finished our garden. Most of the interior work is done apart from sort of some bespoke carpentry, such as wardrobes and TV stands and things. And the big one's the driveway, which we'll be doing in the autumn. But yeah, we're just enjoying being in now, and especially with the weather we're having, enjoying the garden.
Yes, because I can't imagine there's too much DIY going on in this heat.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
No.
So
As soon
now's
as
the
we
time
moved
to
in, it
enjoy.
all just stopped.
Yeah. How long have you been in now?
So we moved in December.
December. Great, great, great. Wow, wow, wow. It must be so nice to just finally be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's lovely. We were living in a flat in Brixton. So to go from a flat to this house, which is ridiculously too much, is in a good way, is lovely. And we've never had a garden and things like that as well. So it's really nice for us and our daughter just to be using the space and having friends and family over as well.
Yeah, brilliant. All right. Well, let's get to it. We're going to explore the kitchen today, which I know is one of your favorite rooms. So what is it about the kitchen that you love so much?
Well, some very sort of obvious things, such as like the color of it, but we've sort of designed it to exactly how we sort of live our life. So it's very convenient. It works really, really well. Even really simple things like every morning I come down with my daughter, Lydia, and sort of everything is in a nice, easy place. So like the bowls for the cereal, her Weetabix is close to the fridge, close to the dishwasher, close to the sink. It's quite like simple things, but actually makes your life sort of easier. Even sort of like in this island, I'm sitting on the bins right there. It's all just very well designed, and we spent a lot of time sort of designing it in a way that suited us as a family, and it just works really well.
So how exactly did you do that? Was it literally just sitting down and going, okay, how do we practically move about this space and what makes sense to us? Or is there a method behind it?
Yeah, I always start off speaking to the person who's going to fit it, so my carpenter, and then get some ideas of what size units we can have where as a guide, or maybe two variations of that. And then we sort of sit down and then decide what is actually going to go where and what we think works for us. I'll be able to show you in a second, but we have like a really unusual one, which is really cool though. We've got the back of the old house. There's like a 30 centimeter void where that was the edge of the old house. So we've utilized that space because they had double doors in it. So we've turned that space into like a bespoke little coffee station and things like that, which is something we really wanted. So we definitely had a list of things that we were aiming for. And then, just spoke to my carpenter about the rest, about what he advises as well.
And that's really nice because, like you say, for someone else, they might go, oh, I don't want a coffee station. I want a tea station or a sandwich maker. I don't know, whatever people love in the kitchen. And you can, instead of it being wasted space, you can personalize it and customize it if you've got the time to sit down and do it. I love that. I would also have either a coffee space or a wine space, but that
the bar's
both,
the
right?
other one people have.
Especially in this weather. Great. Okay, so when it came to sort of the kitchen space, then how did you? Was it one of the first things you got done? Did you prioritize the kitchen, or was it something that actually you did last? Like where'd you put it in?
It wasn't last. It was sort of near the end, though. This was a bit different because this part was the extension. So this was always sort of the slow part, the sort of existing house. Yeah. You could sort of start from when we got the keys. So sort of stripping it back and getting it prepared for like bedrooms and things. But the kitchen was sort of last just because there was so much involved in building it and, you know, new windows, skylights and new flooring and everything. But I mean, I would always usually prioritize the kitchen because kitchens and bathrooms obviously means you can move in. Or at least if you're living there, it'd be much more comfortable. So I would usually prioritize it.
That totally makes sense, doesn't it? Because then you can actually live in the space. So you spoke that there was a lot done in there, and you mentioned you had a carpenter in. How much did you do yourself, and how much did you sort of get external people in to do?
So for the kitchen, I'm an electrician by trade, so I did all the electrical work, which was obviously really handy. Yeah. And then obviously my wife and I, we designed it and sort of bought all the units ourselves and made them sort of custom to us. And I also just helped some of the guys with some of the sort of labor intensive things, like I pulled in pipe work for the utility sink and things like that, because it's a really easy job. And then the plumber just came in at the end and did the actual hard bit and the skilled bit. Yeah. Because we ran it in plastic pipe, for example. So that's something that someone.
So how do you do that?
It's literally really simple. You just drill the hole through the timber and it just runs like cable. It's a bit more difficult than cable. Yeah. And it bends quite well as well. It's not a difficult job. It's actually quite fun again to do something that I don't do on my day job. So I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, you never know. You could add an extra skill to the professional life now as well. Are there any other areas sort of with the space of the kitchen that I know you said that you've designed it exactly to the way that you live. Do you have any tips for anyone who is wanting to renovate their kitchen? So what other tips when it comes to choosing the right kitchen for them?
Yeah, I mean, I've gravitated towards lots of pan drawers as I've got older. And we used to do all the kitchens 10, 15 years ago. It'd be a lot of cupboards. I really think pan drawers and having lots of drawers has really come into the last 5 or 6 years. Even sort of in the coffee station, we've got a drawer below with all the mugs in right by the coffee station. And then obviously 4 pans under the hob, for example, to my left behind me. It's all just, I think pan drawers are just so much more easier to use these days. So that's one thing we've always gravitated to. Again, that suits us. In Brixton, we had like a corner cupboard and it was just piled up with pots and pans of things, one of those just deadly things to reach in and grab, and everything fell down. Yeah. So I think it's a much neater way of storing things. So it's one thing we really wanted to do.
Yeah, it's such a great, and then there must be so many different tools out there, whether that's like a rotating thing for the pans or drawers that fit the cups in rather than the plates, that people can use.
Yeah, exactly. We've got something called a Le Mans unit, which is something I didn't know. I know it's a bit over the top, but
I love it. What is it?
I can show you. It literally.
Yeah, please. Let's have a look.
I'm really underutilizing it because all I've got is a toasting, but it just pulls out like this. It's really useful rather than just shoving loads of things in.
And is that for like a corner cupboard?
Exactly. Yeah. So that's my corner cupboard. And it's just a really good way of utilizing a bit of space again.
Yeah. Was there any surprises en route in the kitchen that you thought weren't going to be issues and then suddenly were?
Yeah, we went for sort of a slightly different kitchen design with sort of a protruding skirting. So plinth. Usually the plinth sort of sits back from the kitchen. But we've seen these sort of external facing ones, which again, I can show you around the island here. It sort of like sticks out rather than goes.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a real headache actually fitting, because it just fitted much more difficult way of fitting it. You sort of have to screw a bit of timber to the underside and then fix it to that. Okay. And sometimes people just like hide electrical things behind the plinths, but you can't do that in this instance because it's not accessible. So things like that was a bit more difficult than usual. Yeah. It's just something I haven't experienced before, but I think I'm really pleased with how they look now.
Yeah. And they look great. They really do. I mean, the whole kitchen does. I can understand why you like hosting now.
Yes.
And as you went through, I assume there was an initial sort of vision for the kitchen or the house as a whole. Did that vision change? Was it a linear process, or was it actually just completely all over the place as you worked your way through?
Oh, it changed a lot, actually. I was surprised.
Did it?
Obviously, you know roughly where you want some rooms and things, but we've changed sort of positions of doors because we didn't think it was using the space as well. And Emily had a really good idea for the bathroom where we've got a Jack and Jill bathroom. So instead of having one door to the bathroom, there's two, one from the landing and one to Lydia's room. So she's almost got like an ensuite, which is farcical for a 3-year-old. But anyway, but it also means that like, guests can use it as a nice bathroom. She can use it as like an ensuite, and it created a bit more space in between as well for her to have more wardrobes and things. And lots of things have changed throughout. Even we didn't want sliding doors initially, so we created some sliding doors in this part, just like behind here, for example. So lots of things sort of evolved as it went on. I'm not the most creative person, but I've looked at Instagram and got some sort of inspiration, and my wife definitely did more of that side of things where we changed things slightly.
Yeah. So, I mean, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, I guess, as well is another great one for inspiration. Is there anywhere else that you go to help, not just for the inspiration, but for the practical tips when it comes to doing the DIY?
I mean, I also actually like going to actual shops and places. It seems like sort of a dying art these days.
What? Where?
Yeah, exactly. There's like an amazing bathroom warehouse, not a million miles from our house. And it must have had like 50 different bathrooms in it. And it was just so nice to see all the things because you can just instantly be like, oh, I like that, but never even considered that, because you go on some of these websites and if you type in, say, a vanity unit, there might be like 50 vanity units, and it's a bit overwhelming.
Too many, yeah.
But actually seeing something in person is really, really nice. And same with the kitchen. We went up to this showroom up near Liverpool, sort of Yorkshire way, actually. And just, again, saw all the different types of kitchens because it's so hard looking online. So that was quite a good tip for just actually, but it takes time, but spending some time actually physically seeing things rather than hoping they turn up and they're nice off the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I think that's an amazing piece of advice, to actually go and look at them, if you can. And I guess just before we finish, is there a new skill that you've learned? I know you mentioned a couple of things that you did, sort of the piping and the skirting boards. But is there a new sort of DIY? What's your favourite thing to do now?
Oh, the thing I'm most proud of is the paneling, definitely, because all the other stuff I did, you don't see. Like my wife would never have a clue that I did the insulation in the ceiling, for example, or the plaster where it's all hidden, it's all paint over it, it's gone.
We know it's there.
Yeah, exactly. But the carpentry, I'm actually really proud of, because that's actually, you walk in and it's there and it actually looks good. And it's just something I learned from YouTube and then speaking with my carpenter as well. So that's something I'm sort of really proud of as a DIY thing that I've done. Another one was, again, fairly simple. I learned just from YouTube, was underfloor heating, electric underfloor heating. So I've installing that myself was really easy. Took like half a day and was quite, when in winter you have it under your feet. I never had it before. Now I can't live without it and I'm really snobby. So, so that's really nice one that I learned as well.
And that was electric underfloor heating.
Yes. So we have water underfloor heating, in the new extension bit, which I helped my plumber run, but then obviously he did all the difficult bit with the pumps and the valves and everything. And then we have electric underfloor heating in the bathroom, just because it's quite easy to install under the tile. You just have to put sort of a layer over it and then put the tiles on, and it's really added something actually that we now really love.
Does it add much depth, I guess? Or does
no,
it
it's really super thin. I think it's something like 4 or 6 mil. But then you have to put a little bit of a screed over it. You might 1 centimetre, I'd probably say, adds on, which is not much in really.
No, and it's as easy as that. You lay it, you add some screed tiles over, done.
Exactly. My daughter always just says she loves her toasty feet, so there you go.
There
it's
we
worth
are.
it.
Yeah, I was going to say, and if it's approved by the daughter, then that's all you need.
Exactly.
So Nick, we do have to wrap up in just a second, but before we do, can we see the coffee station?
Yes, of course.
Most important part.
I'll try and
the bar. I feel like I need to see the bar as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not a bar. So we put a couple of sockets in there. So there's a socket here and a socket here, and we just need to buy nicer things now because we've had all these things from our flat in Brixton. So we've got sort of the kettle and the coffee maker here, but then underneath we've got all of our mugs and more coffee, more tea, etc. Just sort of really keeping everything in the same area, and we really like it. And obviously, as soon as you have people over, it's a really useful thing to have.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. It's such, like you say, such a good idea, and also that it's hidden. I like that it's behind closed doors.
Exactly, all the mess.
All the mess is gone.
Yeah.
There we go. Brilliant. Nick, thank you so much. Please do, where do we find you? Where do we keep up to date with your renovation?
So I have a home renovation YouTube channel, which is called Nick's Home Renovation. And it's the same on Instagram and TikTok. I've just joined as well. So it's all Nick's Home Renovation. You'll find me on there.
Perfect. And we will share all of that down below as well. Nick, thank you for joining us. Everyone, thank you for watching as well. Do like, subscribe, and comment if you've done something and learned a new DIY tip or trick or sort of skill, I guess. Let us know down in the comments, and then we can all go and learn it too. But until next time, thank you, and we'll see you soon.